We're so lucky to live in a country with stunning beaches and rugged coastlines, and Scotland's Hebridean Islands boast some of the very best, with their shimmery white sands, cold, clear turquoise water and unique plant life. Tom and I have come to one of those beaches, the breathtaking Calgary Bay in the northwest of the Isle of Mull. Often referred to as the most beautiful beach on Mull, its tranquility masks a tragic chapter in the island's history. What happened here was repeated all over the Highlands during the late 18th and 19th centuries, and it changed the Highlands and Islands of Scotland forever. This really is a magical spot. Even on a day like this when it's just a wee bit overcast, the waters are sparkling and clear and the machair is dotted with bursts of colour. And looking down on Calgary Bay, some shapes from Scotland's past. This is the abandoned township of Inova, and it really is the most perfect spot to live in. You can imagine the cotters and their families and their animals all living together in this exposed but really beautiful spot. The thickness of these walls is a testament to the building skills of those who made them. Despite hundreds of years of westerly winds, the walls are still pretty solid. Whole families would take part in the building process. And the walls were only this high. About 200 people would have lived here. The cotters were Gaelic-speaking subsistence farmers who grew potatoes and barley, which they relied on for food. They paid their rent to the landowner, mainly in kind, with seaweed harvested from the shoreline and peat cut from the hills. They also used the peat to heat their houses. With no chimney, the insides of the houses became pretty smoky, which is why they were called black houses. It wasn't unusual at the time for people and animals to share living space, with the animals at one side and the people at the other. But at Inova, there is evidence of separate barns for the animals. Heading back down the hillside, there's an old pier, which has definitely seen better days. It was built using stone from the nearby Isle of Iona. Back in the day, it would have been quite busy with steamboats transporting sheep and goods between the islands. And at the head of the bay, a queue with a view. Now, in our quest to bring you Scotland's best bits, this surely has to be right up there. This is Robin's boat, and I challenge you to find a more quirky exterior of an ice cream kiosk in Scotland. Can I get 3 salted caramel with flakes, please, in a cone?
Yeah, no problem.
What's the story of the boat?
That's my grandfather's boat that, I don't know, he used to use it, or it was just at his shed.
Okay. He was Robin, was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a fisherman.
Ah, right, he was a fisherman.
10 change.
Thanks, have a great day. Bye. This view might not have changed, but it's hard to imagine that just 200 years ago, the residents of Inova were struggling for their very survival. Highland landlords had decided that sheep would be more lucrative than their tenants, especially as seaweed prices fell and wool and meat prices soared. And so began the Highland clearances, when the cotters were forced from their homes, sometimes with threats and violence, sometimes with the enticement of better opportunities abroad. At Inova, the evictions began around 1814, when the landlord who lived at Calgary Castle raised the rent to levels the tenants just could not afford. There was little option but to leave their beloved township to the ravages of nature. This pier would have been the last thing that many of the residents of Inova saw as they prepared to leave their home for the last time. But this wasn't the end of hard times for the people of Mull. In 1846, the potato crop failed, causing incredible hardship in the Highlands and in Ireland. A total famine in the Highlands and Islands of Scotland was only narrowly averted by eventual charity aid. The figures from the census tell the grim story. In 1841, the population of the Isle of Mull was 10,064. By 1881, just 40 years later, it was 5,624. Many of those who were forced off the land went to Scottish cities like Glasgow, but others made the difficult and sometimes perilous journeys abroad. Crammed into the cargo holds of ships heading to Australasia, Canada and America, many died due to disease. This memorial, next to the People's Palace at Glasgow Green, remembers the clearances, the famine, and the migration undertaken by many of the tenants. Back at Calgary Bay, there are more surprises in store. Just behind Inova, there's a gorgeous woodland walk called Calgary Art and Nature. Here, artists have worked with nature to create a set of sculptures that complement the natural world. It's like a sort of treasure hunt, searching for the sculptures. There are around 24 of them, created mainly by local artists, which stand out dramatically against the glorious backdrop of the bay. The tall trees make the whole area feel like a massive canopy over the sculptures. It's quite a unique atmosphere, peaceful and thought-provoking, and definitely worth a wee donation. The name Calgary lives on in North America, not just through the immigrants, but also in the name of one of Canada's biggest cities. In 1876, Scots-born Colonel James MacLeod of the North West Mounted Police travelled here from Canada and stayed at Calgary Castle. On his return to Canada, he suggested it as the name for a local fort. Fort Calgary later became Calgary, a modern-day metropolis of some 1.3 million people. When Colonel MacLeod looked out of his window and he saw this amazing view, no wonder he was inspired to name a place thousands of miles away after this stunning bay. But you do wonder, the people who were forced to leave, what bittersweet memories would they have of this place? Time for us to leave Calgary Bay, such a gorgeous place with a really poignant story attached to it. If you enjoyed this film, please subscribe and share. We do read all the comments, and if you'd like to support us to make more films, then buy us a coffee using the link in the description. To keep up to date with where we're off to next, check out our socials. Thanks for watching Scotland's Best Bits.